our savers don't. Our guide is Marta Altagracia Rodriguez. So, want to welcome everybody. If you're there watching us, we have 300 and more times waking up every day, every morning at 5 a.m. with a team, just doing it, doing our guide, meditating, scribing, reading. Now we working with the effective seven habits of highly effective people, a classic, and we're gonna come back to rediscover this. Want to work on right there, right now, and let's do it together. So it's a podcast in YouTube live at 5 a.m. Wherever you are. Marta, take it from here.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
My name,
Good morning.
my name is Marta Rodriguez, and today is my day. There, I will share something that the people want to. It's good today. Know and different kind the meditation and also let me share. This is a 5 a.m. Service server. And let me go to chair. What I no, 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 no. Ay, espérate.
Don't get nervous. You're doing fine.
Okay, okay. Did
Remember,
they?
right to the left. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay.
nope. You gotta stop share. You missed it.
Okay. Okay. Uh
Remember, you tap the screen. You start again, and immediately
mhm.
you look for that little button next to the red one, and you hit it.
Yeah. And but it says stop.
Okay.
It's
So now you
it's
share.
start now. Uh
Yep. And right away, go to the left. You see the share audio off right there.
Click, click. Yeah,
Up.
as soon as you get in, you boom, you click the off. What do you say off? You just click.
see.
You share.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Ahora,
Click
de
off,
una
click
vez.
off, click off, click off, 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 go off. No, on tap.
Okay.
Acuérdese, de una vez a la izquierda. Ahí usted va a ver abajo a la izquierda. Le da donde dice
No lo que tú estás moviendo, sino el de arriba, Marta. Donde dice
Oh,
tap, ahí al ladito, ahí dice un off, ahí, dale, share off.
oh,
esto está. Pero está rojo.
No, no,
No.
cerca del rojo hay un cosa que dice off, tú tienes que cliquear el donde dice el rojo. Ahí
ahí
off,
ahora.
a la izquierda,
Oh,
ahí.
oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
¿Lo vi?
Okay. See.
Ok.
And then now
You go to YouTube.
yeah. Uh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Right here. You can see?
Sí.
Okay. Woo!
We can see, but we can't hear.
No podemos, no se escucha.
No se
So,
escucha.
so pause this because you missed the button before.
You-
Oh. I come
Wait,
back.
No, it's okay. I am listening.
Se escucha, parece que se escucha. Sube el volumen.
Okay.
No, no se escucha, no se escucha.
Let me see.
Okay,
Yo escucho bien.
Ah, sí.
so you gotta go stop share.
Yo no escucho.
Ah, pero se me fue, se me movió.
No tiene que volver, stop de nuevo, stop y vete share de nuevo.
Pero porque yo la escucho.
¿Tú lo escuchas?
Sí.
Eso es porque esos dos teléfonos.
Ah, porque el teléfono tuyo y el teléfono de Android, nosotros, el iPhone no lo escucha.
Yeah.
Tienes que
Oh,
tienes que darle start desde el principio. Tienes que darle al off on. Tiene que
okay.
estar al off on.
Okay. Estoy volviendo para screen.
Yeah.
Sí.
Ahora, right away, you see right there
Ajá,
next to
yeah,
the red
I see.
next to the red button. Dale ahí.
Ajá.
Oh, you missed it. It's got to be quick.
Now, dice que me ponga
You know what? Yeah, hit start recording. Hit that.
ajá.
No, porque ella está recording, que eso no hace nada.
No.
So then hit OK
Dale OK.
and come out.
Sal de nuevo.
Ajá.
Acuérdate como hicimos ahorita, que de una vez
Sí.
y va a haber un cosito al lado del coso rojo. Ahí.
Donde dice share audio, share audio, share audio. Ahí en share audio le da, está off, share audio on, share audio on. Share audio on, boom, tiene que clicar una de a la izquierda, ahí mismo, dale a la izquierda, ahí. Tú lo tienes ahí, dale ahí, share audio,
No.
Parece
clic,
como. Ahí,
ahí.
ya le diste. Ahora
Ya,
ve a
Le di.
YouTube.
just go to YouTube now.
Okay.
Go to your videos.
Ajá. Uy. Uy. ¿Qué?
Okay, go to your messages the way you went before.
Ajá.
There you go.
Many methodologies.
Ah. Ay, Dios mío. Se me va. Wait.
Ve como si tú estuvieras buscando tu video en tu mensaje.
Ajá.
How do you get to your messages?
En WhatsApp, but I didn't. No sé qué pasa ahora.
Many
Okay.
methodologies, many
You listen?
Yes,
spiritual
Yeah,
paths.
we listen. We
They
listen.
recommend meditating on navel, for
Yes, so
example,
that you can
Nadi
start from the
chakra.
beginning now.
Yes,
Or some of them will say,
Mhm.
please meditate on the tip of your nose.
right.
Some of them will say tricuty between your eyebrows.
Yes.
Some of them will say on your Sahasradal Kamal, top of your head.
Uno de los principios.
Or some of them will say meditate
Okay.
on flame of candlelight or deepam, something external to yourself.
That's right.
Now, if I ask you, feel something, would you use your liver or stomach to feel it? The only organ of perception or feeling at the depth is your heart. And you can increase this depth of feeling only by closing your eyes. So though we may begin with the mental
Le queda para que nos
sankalpa,
comience el principio.
we
eso.
end up using
Sí, que se
using the
tiene
heart
para que
in
se
order to
termine.
perceive what comes next.
Ah, okay.
Many methodologies, many spiritual paths, they recommend meditating on navel, for example, Nabhi chakra.
Yes.
Or some of them will say, please meditate on the tip of your nose.
Right.
Some of them will say, trikuti between your eyebrows.
Yes.
Some of them will say on your Sahasradal Kamal, top of your head. Or some of them will say, meditate on flame of candlelight or deepam, something external to yourself.
That's right.
Now, if I ask you, feel something, would you use your liver or stomach to feel it? The only organ of perception or feeling at the depth is your heart. And you can increase this depth of feeling only by closing your eyes. So though we may begin with the mental sankalpa, we end up using the heart in order to perceive what comes next. Many methodologies, many spiritual paths, they recommend meditating on navel, for example, Nabhi chakra.
Yes.
Or some of them will say, please meditate on the tip of your nose.
Right.
Some of them will say, trikuti between your eyebrows.
Yes.
Some of them will say on your Sahasradal Kamal, top of your head. Or some of them will say, meditate on flame of candlelight or deepam, something external to yourself.
That's right.
Now, if I ask you, feel something, would you use your liver or stomach to feel it? The only organ of perception or feeling at the depth is your heart. And you can increase this depth of feeling only by closing your eyes. So though we may begin with the mental sankalpa, we end up using the heart in order to perceive what comes next. Many methodologies, many spiritual paths, they recommend meditating on navel, for example, Nabhi chakra.
Yes.
Or some of them will say, please meditate
Tiene
on
que
the
cambiarlo,
tip
Marta,
of your
porque está
nose.
repitiendo.
Right.
Some of them will
sí.
say, trikuti between your eyebrows.
Yes.
Some of them will say on your Sahasradal Kamal, top of your head. Or some of them will say, meditate on flame of candlelight.
Okay. Now I go to share another video, the exercise. Oop.
Meditate on flame.
Mm.
Búscalo en tu mensaje como tú.
Meditate on flame of candlelight
Sí.
or deepam, something external to yourself.
That's right.
Now, if I ask you,
Voy allá. No vuelvo para.
That little blue button that's blue, it says stop
Ajá.
pencil. Oh,
Okay.
wait,
I
not,
did it.
not sure audio, but there's like a little. Okay, yeah, there you go. Because you no longer are painting in the screen. So I should be fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now I share the exercise. Please, everybody stand up. Es en español, but follow the instruction. Dice for,
Practica estos dos movimientos todos los días. Pequeños movimientos,
you can
grandes
hear you?
beneficios.
You can
Yeah.
Primer
see?
movimiento.
We can hear you.
Balancea los brazos hacia atrás mientras te pones de puntillas. Esto fortalece tu energía renal. Cuando los riñones están fuertes, la longevidad aumenta. Segundo movimiento. Extiende los brazos hacia adelante y recógelos hacia el pecho, al mismo tiempo que te pones de puntillas. Este movimiento fortalece tu energía hepática. Un hígado fuerte te mantiene saludable.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Everybody see?
Agita las manos
Yeah.
durante 10 minutos al día y no tendrás problemas de salud. Hoy quiero compartir con todos ustedes esta rutina de ejercicio de agitar las manos. Son 6 movimientos muy simples. Dale me gusta y guárdalo para practicarlo todos los días. Los antiguos decían, el camino supremo es simple. Lo más simple a menudo contiene las verdades más profundas. El camino de la salud también es sencillo, de modo que todos puedan comprenderlo y aplicarlo. Mucho mejor que esos principios de salud que parecen profundos y complicados. Hoy comparto esta rutina de ejercicio de agitar las manos. A simple vista, los 6 movimientos parecen muy sencillos, pero en realidad siguen completamente los principios de la medicina tradicional china. Este ejercicio proviene de Jijin Jing, donde Jijin significa transformar los tendones débiles en fuertes y convertir los tendones enfermos en saludables. Agitar las manos estimula los tendones y las 12 meridianos del cuerpo, incluyendo las muñecas, las palmas, los talones y las rodillas, provocando un movimiento de estiramiento y contracción. Debes hacer este ejercicio de pie, no sentado. Separa los pies a la anchura de los hombros, mantén la parte superior del cuerpo recta y mira al frente. Agita las manos hasta su máxima extensión. Esto no solo expande los pulmones, sino que también fortalece los hombros, el cuello, la espalda y la cintura. Agita las manos hacia adelante 10 veces y luego hacia atrás con un poco más de fuerza otras 10 veces. Aprovecha la inercia para alcanzar la máxima extensión. Mantén las palmas abiertas en todo momento, los pies firmes y estables. Si haces 100 movimientos al día, las personas con dolor en los hombros, la espalda y la cintura sentirán una gran mejoría con el tiempo. Esto se debe a que el ejercicio desbloquea los meridianos del cuerpo, permitiendo que la energía fluya mejor. Si fluye, no duele. Si duele, es porque no fluye. Por eso este ejercicio es uno de los más sencillos y se puede practicar en cualquier momento y lugar. Si durante la práctica sientes mareo, dolor en el pecho o debilidad en los brazos, significa que lo estás haciendo en exceso. Es importante avanzar poco a poco y no forzarse demasiado. Si sientes eructos o expulsas gases, significa que los 3 calentadores del cuerpo se han desbloqueado. También es normal experimentar sensaciones de hormigueo, frío o calor. Sigue practicando y notarás los beneficios.
Yeah. Everybody do the exercise?
Yeah.
It's good, no?
Very good.
Yeah. I can. I don't find in English, but now we can go to. I can guide it to we do it the
You can do affirmation, a visualization.
affirmation. Okay, we can do the relaxation with meditation. Sit down.
Okay.
Sit down. Close your eyes. Um, Look inside of you. Inhale, put your hands in your body, blow your body like balloon when you inhale, and exhale, and press your body inside and throw the whole air. It throw the breathe for your inhale and exhale by your mouth in this way. Inhale, blow your belly, and exhale. Inhale, peace, and throw the tired and the stress. Inhale and throw like. Now we can visualization our feet, our toes, and relax. Relax your feet, relax your legs, relax your knee, relax your thing, relax your weight, relax your body, your back, your entire back. Move your shoulder, one side, another side, relax. Go to your stomach, your body, your organs, the motor to your body, and relax. Go to your chest, look your heart, your lung, relax. A little while, inhale and put your shoulder up, like, and up your shoulder, and then relax your arm, your entire arm, your hands, your finger. Inhale and close your hands like un puño. And then again, inhale and close your hands and throw. Go to your neck and move your neck side to side. Inhale. Go to your face, your jaw, your mouth, your nose, your ear, your eyes. Relax. Your front head and go to your brain. Use your brain.
Tu cámara está apagada, Marta. Tu cámara está apagada.
Oh, sí. Oh
Sí.
my God. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go to your brain. Inhale like your brain the air go to your brain. Like this. And then Visualize the bright light come in the top of your hair and go through your whole body, this line, the bright line. I'm feeling the bright line. Put your right hand in your heart and say, uh, I am in peace, I am peace, I am love, I am peace and love. I'm healthy. My body is healthy. Peace and love in your heart. And look a bright light. The divine light is in my heart. The divine light is in my heart. Feeling the divine light is in my heart. Stay there. You don't have to look in the divine light or feeling. The divine light is in my heart. Inhale. Vamos a inhale and then breathe and say, oh. Inhale. Oh. Relax. Inhale. Um, okay. Again, the last one. Inhale and say, oh. Move your feet, move your hands, move your body. And then we go to the affirmation. I am powerful. I am healthy. I am in peace. I am lover, love. I am the best person, the best version in myself. I am really true in the way for in my favor. I am powerful. I am love. I am healthy. I am the best I can. Now the what the question. Wait, I had a question. Wait. What is the things you accept, agree to accept. What things you will accept that you cannot? Yeah. What is the things that you accept that you cannot change? Um, do you understand me? What is the one thing that I need to change? It's okay? Huh?
Yeah.
One thing that we need to change, Marta?
Yeah.
What is the thing that you accept that you cannot change?
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
What is the
Yes.
thing that you accept that you cannot change? What is the thing that you accept that you cannot change?
Thank you. Okay. Everybody ready? Okay. Everybody ready? Or I start. The thing that I can accept that I can change, but I working in the organization and the organization and procrastination. I working very hard and analyzing myself about that, but little by little, I come better and better. That's it. Who wanna go? Candido?
Yes, come back to me another time. And I want another question again.
Oh, okay.
What is the thing you
Uh-huh.
accept that you cannot change? What is the thing, one thing you accept that you cannot change?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna start. Psychopathic politicians worldwide, but I cannot vote for them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Piña. Rosaura?
Oh, no, Martha. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I cannot change what already happened in the past, but I can learn from it
Mm-hmm.
and try to change the future.
Yes. Yes. The present to make the future. Oh, thank you, Rosaura. Henry?
One of the things that I'm going to accept that I cannot change is that I don't know everything and I won't know everything. I'm going to stand in faith and
Uh-huh.
invest in myself, and great things will come.
Mm. Thank you, Gregory. Um, very smart. Wisdom. This is the famous word. Um, Henry?
Um, I I love Rosales' answer. So mine's
Yeah.
about that way, what she mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was thinking about I wrote my height. Um, so I accepted that the last 3 years I have accepted that I'm no longer going to get taller. But in between now and the last 2 years, I've been the most comfortable, the most acceptance of myself ever. And I love my body and I love my own skin.
Thank you, John Boy. The younger boy in a 5 o'clock, at 5 a.m. You are the baby, our baby. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, Victor, my Turo.
Hello again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I accept the difficulties that I have encountered in my life, be it the loss of loved ones or feeling like I'm always walking uphill. None of this has killed me. Surely it will make me better and stronger.
Mm. You are strong. You can do it. Um, Candido, you are ready?
Yes, I
Uh-huh.
cannot I cannot change that I am getting older every day.
Everybody. Lauren. Lawrence. Mr. Core.
Hola.
Hola.
Did I miss the question?
Yeah, the question. What is the thing that you can accept that you can change?
Something I've accepted I'm working on changing, working on improving my physical health.
Hmm. Okay. Well, this is very important. You, you, you will change because the health thing is very important. But you chose something good about the how we can eating yogurt and you can you have a information.
Yeah, I've already changed. I've been eating better, less junk.
Yeah.
been cutting out snacks. That's helped. So now just have to do important stuff like go to the gym.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing is impossible when you want it and you pay attention, and you can do it. You jumping this what you can do it now. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you everybody. I'm missing something. Affirmation, the message, the writing, exercises, boom, and we can start to share the book. I don't have the book yet,
I can
but
share.
okay, thank you. And thank you for your passion and your to teach me um,
It was my
what.
it was my pleasure, and not very
Thank you.
hard. You,
It's
you,
very hard. Thank
you
you.
have
Thank
more
you.
ability than you believe. So as soon as you started believing in yourself, you started strolling through.
Thank you. Thank you. I become better and better, little by little. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go back like 30 seconds.
Principles are the deal with different to marriages situationally specific. Principles are deep fundamental truths that have universal application and also timeless application. They never change. They apply to individuals, to marriages, to families, to private and public organizations of every kind. When these truths are internalized into habits, they empower people to create a wide variety of practices to deal with different situations. Principles are not values. A gang of thieves can share values, but they are in violation of the fundamental principles we're talking about. Principles are the territory. Values are maps. When we value correct principles, we have truth, a knowledge of things as they are. Principles are guidelines for human conduct that are proven to have enduring, permanent value. They're fundamental. They're essentially unarguable because they are self-evident. One way to quickly grasp the self-evident nature of principles is to simply consider the absurdity of attempting to live an effective life based on their opposites. I doubt that anyone would seriously consider unfairness, deceit, baseness, uselessness, mediocrity, or degeneration to be a solid foundation for lasting happiness and success. Although people may argue about how these principles are defined or manifested or achieved, there seems to be an innate consciousness and awareness that they exist. The more closely our maps or paradigms are aligned with these principles or natural laws, the more accurate and functional they will be. Correct maps will infinitely impact our personal and interpersonal effectiveness far more than any amount of effort expended on changing our attitudes and behaviors. Principles of growth and change. The glitter of the personality ethic, the massive appeal, is that there is some quick and easy way to achieve quality of life, personal effectiveness, and rich, deep relationships with other people, without going through the natural processes of work and growth that makes it possible. It's symbol without substance. It's the get-rich-quick scheme promising wealth without work. And it might even appear to succeed. But the schemer remains. The personality ethic is illusionary and deceptive. And trying to get high-quality results with its techniques and quick fixes is just about as effective as trying to get to some place in Chicago using a map of Detroit. In the words of Erich Fromm, an astute observer of the roots and fruits of the personality ethic, quote, "Today we come across an individual who behaves like an automaton, who does not know or understand himself, and the only person that he knows is the person that he is supposed to be, whose meaningless chatter has replaced communicative speech, whose synthetic smile has replaced genuine laughter, and whose sense of dull despair has taken the place of genuine pain." Two statements may be said concerning this individual. One is that he suffers from the defects of spontaneity and individuality, which may seem to be incurable. At the same time, it may be said of him, he does not differ essentially from the millions of the rest of us who walk upon this earth. Close quote. In all of life, there are sequential stages of growth and development. A child learns to turn over, to sit up, to crawl, and then to walk and run. Each step is important, and each one takes time. No step can be skipped. This is true in all phases of life, in all areas of development, whether it be learning to play the piano or to communicate effectively with a working associate. It is true with individuals, with marriages, with families, and with organizations. We know and accept this fact or principle of process in the area of physical things, but to understand it in emotional areas, in human relations, and even in the area of personal character is less common and more difficult. And even if we do understand it, to accept that and to live in harmony with it are even less common and more difficult. Consequently, we sometimes look for a shortcut, expecting to be able to skip some of these vital steps in order to save time and effort and still reap the desired result. But what happens when we attempt to shortcut a natural process in our growth and development? If you are only an average tennis player but decide to play at a higher level in order to make a better impression, what would result? Would positive thinking alone enable you to compete effectively against a professional? What if you were to lead your friends to believe that you could play the piano at concert hall level, while your actual present skill was that of a beginner? The answers are obvious. It is simply impossible to violate, ignore, or shortcut this development process. It is contrary to nature, and attempting to seek such a shortcut only results in disappointment and frustration. On a 10-point scale, if I am at level 2 in any field and desire to move to level 5, I must first take the step toward level 3. Remember, a 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step and can only be taken one step at a time. If you don't let a teacher know at what level you're at, by asking a question or revealing your ignorance, you will not learn or grow. You cannot pretend for long, for you eventually will be found out. Admission of ignorance is often the first step in our education. Thoreau taught, "How can we remember our ignorance, which our growth requires, when we are using our knowledge all of the time?" I recall one occasion when two young women, daughters of a friend of mine, came to me tearfully, complaining about their father's harshness and lack of understanding. They were afraid to open up with their parents for fear of the consequences, and yet they desperately needed their parents' love, understanding, and guidance. I talked with the father and found that he was intellectually aware of what was happening. But while he admitted he had a temper problem, he refused to take responsibility for it, and to honestly accept the fact that his emotional developmental level was low. It was more than his pride could swallow to take the first step toward change. To effectively relate with a wife, a husband, friends, children, or working associates, we must learn to listen. And this requires emotional strength because listening involves patience, openness, and the desire to understand. These are highly developed qualities of character. It is so much easier to operate from a low emotional level and to give high-level advice. Our level of development is fairly obvious with tennis or piano playing, where it is impossible to pretend, but it is not so obvious in the areas of character and emotional development. We can pose and put on for a stranger or an associate. We can pretend, and for a while we can get by with it, at least in public. We might even deceive ourselves. Yet I believe most of us know the truth of what we really are inside, and I think many of those we live with and work with do as well. I have seen the consequences of attempting to shortcut this natural process of growth, often in the business world, where executives attempt to buy a new culture of improved productivity, quality, morale, and customer service with strong speeches, smile training, and external interventions, or through mergers, acquisitions, and friendly or unfriendly takeovers. But they ignore the low trust climate produced by such manipulations. When these methods don't work, they look for other personality ethic techniques that will, all the time ignoring or violating the natural principles and processes on which a high-trust culture is based. I remember violating this principle myself as a father many years ago. One day I returned home to my little girl's third-year birthday party to find her in the corner of the front room, defiantly clutching all of her presents, unwilling to let the other children play with them. The first thing I noticed was several parents in the room witnessing this selfish display. I was embarrassed, and doubly so because at the time I was teaching university classes in human relations. And I knew, or at least felt, the expectations of these parents. The atmosphere in the room was really charged. The children were crowding around my little daughter with their hands out, asking to play with the presents they had just given. And my daughter was adamantly refusing. I said to myself, certainly I should teach my daughter to share. The value of sharing is one of the most basic things we believe in. So I first tried a simple request. Honey, would you please share with your friends the toys they've given you? No, she replied flatly. My second method was to use a little reasoning. Honey, if you learn to share your toys with them when they are at your home, then when you go to their homes, they will share their toys with you. Again, she immediately replied, no. I was becoming a little more embarrassed, for it was evident I was having no influence. The third method was bribery. Very softly, secretly, I said, honey, if you share, I've got a special surprise for you. I'll give you a piece of gum. I don't want gum, she exploded, for everyone to hear. Now I was becoming exasperated. For my fourth attempt, I resorted to fear and threat. Unless you share, you will be in real trouble. I don't care, she cried. These are my things. I don't have to share. Finally, I resorted to force. I merely took some of the toys and gave them to the other kids. Here, kids, play with these. Perhaps my daughter needed the experience of possessing the things before she could give them. In fact, unless I possess something, can I really ever give it? She needed me as her father to have a higher level of emotional maturity to give her that experience. But at that moment, I valued the opinion those parents had of me more than the growth and development of my child and our relationship together. I simply made an initial judgment that I was right. She should share, and she was wrong in not doing so. Perhaps I superimposed a higher level expectation on her simply because on my own scale I was at a lower level. I was unable or unwilling to give patience or understanding, so I expected her to give things. In an attempt to compensate for my deficiency, I borrowed strength from my position and authority and forced her to do what I wanted her to do. But borrowing strength builds weakness. It builds weakness in the borrower because it reinforces dependence on external factors to get things done. It builds weakness in the person forced to acquiesce, stunting the development of independent reasoning, growth, and internal discipline. And finally, it builds weakness in the relationship. Fear replaces cooperation, and both people involved become more arbitrary and defensive. And what happens when the source of borrowed strength, such as superior size or physical strength, position, authority, credentials, status symbols, appearance, past achievements, what if they change or they're no longer there? Had I been more mature, I could have relied on my own intrinsic strength, my understanding of sharing and of growth, and my capacity to love and nurture, and then allowed my daughter to make a free choice as to whether she wanted to share or not to share. Perhaps after attempting to reason with her, I could have turned the attention of the children to an interesting game, taking all that emotional pressure off my child. I've learned that once children gain a sense of real possession, they share very naturally, freely, spontaneously. My experience has been that there are times to teach and times not to teach. When relationships are strained and the air charged with emotion, an attempt to teach is often perceived as a form of judgment and rejection. But to take the child alone, quietly, when the relationship is good, and then to teach, would have had much greater impact. It may have been that the emotional maturity to do was beyond my level of patience and internal control at the time. Perhaps a sense of possessing needs to come before a sense of genuine sharing. Many people who give mechanically or refuse to give and share in their marriages and families may never have experienced what it means to possess themselves, their own sense of identity and self-worth. Really helping our children grow may involve being patient enough to allow them the sense of possession, as well as being wise enough to teach them the value of giving and providing the example ourselves. The way we see the problem is the problem. People are intrigued when they see good things happening in the lives of individuals, families, and organizations that are based on solid principles. They admire such personal strength and maturity, such family unity and teamwork, such adaptive, synergistic organizational cultures. And their immediate request is very revealing of their basic paradigm. How do you do it? Teach me the techniques. What they're really saying is, give me some quick fix advice or solution that will relieve the pain in my own situation. They will find people who will meet their wants and teach these things, these techniques, and for a short time, skills and techniques may appear to work. They may eliminate some of the cosmetic or acute problems through social aspirin and Band-Aids, but the underlying chronic condition remains, and eventually new acute symptoms will appear. The more people are into quick fix and focus on the acute problems and pain, the more that very approach contributes to the underlying chronic condition. You see, the way we see the problem is the problem. Look again at some of the concerns that introduce this chapter and at the impact of personality ethic thinking. Remember this one? I've taken course after course on effective management training. I expect a lot out of my employees, and I work hard to be friendly toward them and to treat them right. But I don't feel any loyalty from them. I think if I were homesick for a day, they'd spend most of their time gabbing at the water fountain. Why can't I train them to be independent and responsible, or find employees who can be? The personality ethic tells me I could take some kind of dramatic action, shake things up, make heads roll, that would make my employees shape up and appreciate what they have. or that I could find some motivational training program that would get them committed, or that I could hire new people that would do a better job. But is it possible that under the apparently disloyal behavior, that employees question whether I really am acting in their own best interest? Do they feel like I'm treating them as mechanical objects? And is there some truth to that? Deep inside, is that really the way I see them? Is there a chance the way I look at the people who work for me is part of the problem, perhaps even the biggest part? Remember this one. There's so much to do, and there's never enough time. I feel pressured and hassled all day, every day, 7 days a week. I've attended time management seminars, and I've tried a half a dozen different planning systems. They've helped some, but I just don't feel like I'm living the happy, productive, peaceful life I want to live. The personality ethic tells me there must be something out there, some new planner or seminar that will help me handle all these pressures in a more efficient way. But is there a chance that efficiency is not the answer? Is getting more things done in less time going to make a difference? Or will it just increase the pace at which I react to the people and circumstances that seem to control my life? Could there be something I need to see in a deeper, more fundamental way? Some paradigm within myself that affects the way I see my time, my life, and my own nature? Remember this one? My marriage has gone flat. We don't fight or anything, we just don't love each other anymore. We've gone to counseling, we've tried a number of things, but we just can't seem to rekindle a feeling we used to have. The personality ethic tells me there must be a new book or some new seminar where people get all their feelings out that would help my wife better understand me. Or maybe that it's useless and that only a new relationship will provide the love I need. But is it possible that my spouse isn't the real problem? Could I be empowering my spouse's weaknesses and making my life a function of the way I'm treated? Do I have some basic paradigm about my spouse, about marriage, about what love really is that is feeding the problem? Is it possible that love is more a verb than a feeling? Can you see how fundamentally the paradigms of the personality ethic affect the very way we see our problems, as well as the way we attempt to solve them? Whether people see it or not, many are becoming disillusioned with the empty promises of the personality ethic. As I travel around the world and work with organizations, I find that long-term thinking executives are simply turned off by psych-up psychology and motivational speakers who have nothing more to share than entertaining stories, formulas mingled with platitudes. They want substance. They want process. They want more than aspirin and Band-Aids. They want to solve the chronic underlying problems and focus on the principles that bring long-term results. A new level of thinking. Albert Einstein observed, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." Listen again to that statement. The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. As we look around us and within us and recognize the problems created as we live and interact within the personality ethic, we begin to realize that these are deep, fundamental problems that cannot be solved on a superficial level on which they were created. We need a new level, a deeper level of thinking, a paradigm based on the principles that accurately describe the territory of effective human being and interacting to solve these deep concerns. This new level of thinking is what 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is about. It's the principle-centered, character-based, inside-out approach to personal and interpersonal effectiveness. Inside out means to start first with self. Even more fundamentally, to start with the most inside part of self, with your paradigms, your character, your assumptions, and your motives. It says that if you want to have a happy marriage, be the kind of person who generates positive energy and sidesteps negative energy rather than empowering it. If you want to have a more pleasant, cooperative teenager, be a more understanding, empathic, consistent, loving parent. If you want to have more freedom, more latitude in your job, be a more responsible, a more helpful, a more contributing employee. If you want to be trusted, be trustworthy. If you want to have the secondary greatness of recognized talent, focus first on the primary greatness of character. The inside-out approach says that private victories precede public victories, that making and keeping promises to ourselves precedes making and keeping promises to others. It says it is futile to try to improve relationships with others before improving ourselves. Inside Out is a process, a continuing process of renewal based on the natural laws that govern human growth and progress. It's an upward spiral of growth that leads to progressively higher forms of responsible independence and effective interdependence. I have had the opportunity to work with many people, wonderful people, talented people, people who deeply want to achieve happiness and success, people who are searching, people who are hurting. I have worked with business executives, college students, church and civic groups, families and marriage partners, and in all of my experiences, I have never seen lasting solutions to problems, lasting happiness and success that came from the outside in. What I have seen result from the outside-in paradigm is unhappy people who feel victimized and immobilized, who focus on the weaknesses of other people and the circumstances they feel are responsible for their own stagnant situation. I've seen unhappy marriages where each spouse wants the other to change, where each is confessing the other's sins, where each is trying to shape up the other. I've seen labor management disputes where people spend tremendous amounts of time and energy trying to create legislation that would force people to act as if the foundation of trust were really there. Members of our family have lived in 3 of the hottest spots on earth, South Africa, Israel, and Ireland. And I believe the source of the continuing problems in each of these places has been the dominant social paradigm of outside in. Each involved group is convinced the problem is out there, and if they, meaning others, would shape up or suddenly ship out of existence, the problem would be solved. Inside Out is a dramatic paradigm shift for most people, largely because of the powerful impact of conditioning and the current social paradigm of the personality ethic. But from my own experience, both personal and in working with thousands of other people, and from careful examination of successful individuals and societies throughout history, I am persuaded that many of the principles embodied in the 7 habits are already deep within us, in our conscience and our common sense. To recognize and develop them and to use them in meeting our deepest concerns, we need to think differently, to shift our paradigms to a new, deeper, inside-out level. As we sincerely seek to understand and integrate these principles into our lives, I am convinced we will discover and rediscover the truth of T.S. Eliot's observation. We must not cease from exploration, and the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we began and to know the place for the first time. The 7 habits, an over.
You want me to stop there, Dr. Pina?
Victor, I think that's good. I think there's a lot there to.
Mm-hmm. and it's a new area. It's a new section. So
I think you're muted, Dr. Pina.
Okay, Marta, can you start the discussion of the chapter? And let's give it 10 minutes to start from.
Yes, I am this for me is like exactly what I has to do with me. And every because it's seven um things that we has to learn about that. But really I take for me to continue to discipline myself. Um but I am happy no matter what. I made a mistake. I got a lot of things to fix, but I am in the way to become better and better and better. And the my emotion also. I don't feel comfortable, but I have to be patient because I have to do what I have to do. Um, and really, this is for I take it for me, and I like the way he discipline he his daughter her daughter. Um, I had a situation like that with my granddaughter. She is so strong, and it's so good to will become better and learn no matter what the year you have, the older you are. Continue to learning, and this is the life. Um, and thank you. Also, uh, I want to say I put in the chart the for your passing, your support, and they one thing the my presentation. One thing that you think so is good for you. I love the exercise. It's easy, and the Chinese really working with the body. I invite to you put in practice this good thing. See it's good for you or you like it. And be happy and continue in the path to learning. Thank you. Have a great day.
Anyone want to say something about the chapter? Something that caught your attention you want to share, or the part of the um, chapter, the inside out? I think is paradigms and principles. And
Yes, Dr. Pena, I love the reflection on focusing on your inner self first before you can give or focus on others, at starting with yourself, and reflection is key and fundamental to success. I thought that was paramount in our analysis of what we want to do, where we want to go. You got to take care of yourself first.
In this chapter, there were so many notes that I took of different things them that I taught, and every time I planned to comment on something, something else came up that was very interesting. But the one that I'm going to talk about, it says there is time to teach and time not to teach, and that is the one that as teachers we use a lot, because if you are going to teach a child, a student, something in public, or reprimand them for something in public, like around their classmates, you're going to get a very different response as to when you do it in private. Um, to teach something, they have to have this receptive mindset, like they are ready to learn. They're quiet, not when they are angry, and not all situations, are conducive to learning, because if they are angry, they're not really listening. And basically, um, lead by example. Lead by example. Not all situations require verbal teaching. You could lead also by example. So I'll comment on that one, because then it sort of like reminds me of when I was in the classroom, when you reprimand a child in front of others, the response that you get. And you get a different response when you do it in private. So because they have to be receptive to that teaching moment. And if they're angry, they're not.
Okay, Lawrence, Candido, Victor, any,
Yes,
Henry. Yeah, yeah.
yes, Candido. I got a quote that caught my attention. Is the one who says, for you to be trusted, you have to be trustworthy. And I like that quote. That caught my attention. I like it.
You know, for me, I was reflecting on the whole situation with the party where he couldn't get the door to the share right. I think that that's an example of why it's important, to work from the inside out on yourself, right? Because I think that sometimes we try to manage situations with what we know, right? Or the way we've been taught. And there's a lot of things that may or may not be right about how our parents raised us, right? But it's what we know. And so we try to pass that on to our children in different situations. And frankly, sometimes they just can't relate. I mean, I remember, um, when I was a kid, my mom just had a way of like looking at me or staring at me or just like, her gestures. And I understood what she meant. And I knew that I had to react very quickly when she gave me those eyes. So, like, if I was playing in the living room and I was just kind of like rolling my truck around, right? And all of a sudden the door knocked and guests came and I was still in that living room rolling that truck, I would get the stare. And that stare meant we have company. Go to your room and go be quiet and don't interrupt and don't come listen to adult conversations. All those things I got from that one little look, right? If I tried to do that now with my kids, they'd look at me sideways like I was crazy, right? Like what are you trying to tell me? And if I got mad and was just like, get out of the living room, we have company, this and that, they'd be like, why? I'm playing. And, and that's another thing that we didn't do when we were kids, right? We didn't talk back to our parents. Like, our kids talk back to their parents. And what are you gonna do? Beat them? Like, you can't do that. I don't believe in that. I would have gotten a beating for that, right? So, you do have to work your way from the inside out, and you have to adapt with the times, and you have to have an understanding of what is best for the situation now, and and not just that what is the one shop, one thing fits all situation.
In that section, he mentioned something about, I'm not sure it was a principle, but he mentioned possession. And I'm trying to go back to that section where he was saying the story with his daughter, and he realized that possession, like the kids, they need to have that feeling before they're able to share. And I wonder if we could go back to kind of break that down, because I think that was a very important part of that realization that he had. I don't know if anybody can recall that.
Yeah. I don't have the book in front of me. Actually, I could probably get the book, but I can tell you what he was saying. What he was saying was that the child couldn't, very similar to, to like the example that I just gave. He was basically saying that what he realized was that because the child had not learned what it felt like to possess, right? The child couldn't also share because you can't share what you don't possess.
Or you don't own, right? That's very interesting.
I mean, but that applies to a lot of real life situations. Like, of course, she should share, right? But that was a principle that he had learned and developed, and the child had not.
Mhm.
And so the child was just reacting negatively because the child's like, couldn't grasp the concept. Like, my goodness, I just got these gifts. Like, why should I be letting someone else play with them? This is mine.
Yeah, that y'all haven't gotten the experience of like, whoa, this is mine. Like, I don't want to share it because they never had it in the first place yet. So it's interesting to kind of, me as a teacher, when we see the kids, right, just having them get that experience of, hey, this is yours. Enjoy it. And if you want, share it, which most likely, most of the time they will after they have experienced that. And I guess with the principle of growth and change, not breaking shortcuts, right? Which kind of it talks about that. Um, and the shortcut part is very interesting because it says that once we do try to find a shortcut, the only result is going to be frustration because we realize that we were, at least for me in my case, when I think about like in sports, right? Maybe I'm learning a new sport and I want to push myself to now compete, but I was never ready. Now I'm taking this shortcut to go all the way to the end, and all it's gonna cause is frustration because I was never ready for it. And that's very interesting to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. Don't go from step one to step five. Go to step one to step two to step three to step four, and get better. Meet the right people, right? And when you're ready, you'll go for it. So that paradigm shift to um don't go through shortcuts. And the inside out reminds me of No More Mr. Nice Guy. Putting yourself first, your character first. I think that's very important. The personality and character ethic, the difference between both and how the personality ethic is tactics and techniques, and you can kind of see through it, which in return is like the nice guy, right? It's more the personality, it's the yes guy, right? It's finding ways to have validation and approval. While character ethics that have boundaries, right? They have standards and uh, actual belief systems that they follow. So I found that very interesting as well. also the part that says the way we see the problem is the problem, right? It's very interesting to start practicing what we read in the previous book, right? Start thinking backwards, right? Think opposite, right? Sometimes the way that we see the problem is the problem, and the way to fix it is to kind of go deeper within ourselves and start asking ourselves that question, and don't look at the world as a objective way, and it's more subjective.
Lauren, do you want to the final words, Lawrence? Any idea?
Stephen Covey just, I read this book so long ago, and I guess this was interesting because when I went to look on it for Amazon to share the link the other day, was this book came out over 30 years ago. So some of the stuff that he was talking about, just with like the paradigm shift and everything and all that sort of stuff, um, I just found that I found that intriguing because that was a whole I think a lot of people recently that's been lost. So it's interesting to now be rediscovering this as a way to approach stuff because I just feel like with all the stuff that people are now with everything with social media, um, I think people forget about thinking deeper sometimes. It's very surface level for a lot of stuff.
Okay, guys. In terms of, I'm checking him out in terms of his nemesis, which is Napoleon Hill, still, and he's against this positive kind of self-help, short-term technique thinking. That is something that he applied, and also the use of psychoanalysis, like Erich Fromm, that he is very much into the to be and to have. And then in page 27, be or have, uh, one of the book of Erich Fromm, and he mentions Erich Fromm on one of the pages. And then he says, you want to have a happy marriage, be the kind of person who generates positive energy and sidestep negative energy. If you want to have a more pleasant, comparative teenager, be more understanding, empathetic. So the be and be versus the have. That is much in the psychoanalysis of Erich Fromm, who was a psychoanalyst who lived, a German psychoanalyst, left Germany and lived for a long time in um, in Mexico, and he wrote the psychoanalysis of love, the art of love. One of the first book I read about love, and I see that he mentions Albert. This is very safe, and he was a teacher of human relations, human in the university. That's that too. Um, very very much interesting to see and go back, checking his sources somehow. Where is this coming from? What is this epistemology of the book that I love so much, that I practice, that I share? You're finding again those uh, character-based character-based principle. He used another word. It's like character-based, and I think that make it known. Just to have the philosophy on a sentence, uh, value-based, character-based approach that he using, principle-based. Okay, that's number one, and character-based approach against the personality ethic or the character ethic approach, which is very interesting to see and to find out, and how it's somehow eternal the way that his teachings until the moment, and he went beyond anything else. So that's one of the chapter. It doesn't have chapter numbers, but it's divided by section, I believe. So I'm gonna go to the 7 habits and overview tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna prepare the program for tomorrow. I've been working on this one. Let me see where we are. We are on Dr. Pina is tomorrow, Sunday 23, then Victor Monday, Rosaura Tuesday, Lawrence Wednesday, Andy Thursday, Henry Friday, Rosaura again. So we have to change. Rosaura was because I put Rosaura. She had missed on Sunday, so she's coming too soon. So we have to change that, and then put Steve or change Rosaura because she's repeated. Then Steve Gregory, Dr. C, Dr. Pina Bax. Okay, I'm gonna change so that we don't repeat that, and I will publish that in a few. Right. Without further ado, guys, we finished today 5 a.m. Service Club with Marta. She did very good. I love her meditation piece. She is so good when she is on the meditations. It's like she's in the water, and you can see that she know that thing, and she know that she's right there with herself doing this. So see you tomorrow, guys. Bye
Let's
bye.
say everybody.